Hello, everybody. Welcome back to our time together to learn more about conscious discipline. And today we are going to talk about encouragement, noticing, accepting, and connecting with our kiddos in our home or in our classroom. So let's start with our Brain Smart Start. So we are already all here for the same thing, right? We are united for the same purpose. But today we can try a chant together. So this could be something fun that you could do if you're doing a Brain Smart Start in your classroom or with your family at home. You could dance together to a song. You could make up a family chant. You could do a silly, Simon Says kind of dance game. Anything that brings you together. You set down what you were doing before and you come together. So a chant you can just make up. And it can be like this. We are here to learn and have some fun. We support ourselves and everyone. If you need help, you can come to me. We are a parent learning family. And we are a family, even though we don't come together at the same time and we don't know specifically who's watching these videos with us. We are still together, united for the same purpose. So let's take 3 deep breaths. So take a big deep breath in through your nose. Feel your belly push out, fill up with air. And then on your exhale, as you feel your belly pull in, let your shoulders drop down your back. Take another nice deep breath in through the nose, breathe in deep, fill up, and then a slow exhale. Try to make your exhale last longer than your inhale. And let's do it one more time. Breathe in deep, and a slow breath out. Feel your face relax, shoulders, your jaw releases, your eyes soften. Those 3 deep breaths and, making sure that you're breathing with your whole body, feeling your belly push out, and making your exhale last longer than the inhale are all ways to shut down that flight, fight response to stress. So the next time you find that surge of adrenaline from something that happens, whether it's slamming your brakes on at your car, or maybe it's like you were at work and someone was really rude to you, give yourself a moment to take those 3 deep breaths and shut down that response in your body. Okay, so our connection ritual. So this can be a family handshake. This can be a hand clap game. It can be anything you want it to be. Today we're going to learn a new I love you ritual to do with our younger kids. It's called Georgie Porgy, or you can use Margie Pargy. But Georgie Porgy, pudding and pie, as you shrug your shoulders up and down, gave his friend a big high five. Give a double high five. With his friend, he loved to play. Hold your fingers up and wiggle your fingers, touching each other's fingertips, just like we do in Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. A gift of a smile he gave each day. And then we smile, we make eye contact, and then, of course, we can offer a hug. And next we commit. So let's commit to this. Say with me, I'm going to encourage myself by thinking, I am safe. I can handle this during moments of difficulty or doubt. And that's a great commitment for this session and all the time that follows, right? I am safe. I can handle this. And 3 nice deep breaths. So the power of unity, we are all in this together. Each of us is unique, but undeniably connected to every other unique being in our world. By honoring both our uniqueness and our interdependentness, we see that each individual has an important contribution to make to the welfare of our home, our community, our school, our state, our country. And when we value caring and sharing and kindness and helpfulness towards each other, when we feel good and act in a caring, kind, and helpful way, it feels good. It tells us all that we are in this together. We feel better when we feel like we matter. The brain is equipped with a bunch of feel-good hormones and chemicals like serotonin and dopamine that are released when we feel valued, when we feel like contributing members of a group. We just feel better when we feel like we matter. So we want that for ourselves. We definitely want to give it to our kids. Realizing that we're all in this together also allows us to see hurtful behaviors as a call for help. This call for help perception, it empowers us to teach children new skills instead of punishing. So the skill of encouragement. Encouragement is about noticing, accepting, and connecting with children. And the goal is to create a felt sense of safety and belonging for all. So remember how important that is. It's perceived safety. It's a felt sense of safety and belonging. So it's not us making a decision that our children are safe and belong, or whether it's in our home or in our classroom. It's about making sure that they feel safe and that they belong. Relationships are the motivation for learning, right? So who do you want to be in a relationship with? Someone who encourages you and teaches you when something goes wrong, or someone who punishes you and demands compliance when something goes wrong? Noticing is a specific skill that's essential to encouragement. And it's more powerful than even the best praise that you can think of. Noticing is describing the child's actions out loud without judgment. It allows them to fully own their actions rather than focusing on our assessment of them. You did it. You wrote your name. Notices the child's accomplishment without judgment. Look how nicely you wrote your name. Shifts the focus from their accomplishment to our assessment of their effort, right? That's our judgment. When we judge children, we teach them to behave or to do well in school just to please us, right? When we notice them, they decide what it means and they make choices because it feels good inside. And then when they grow up, they'll make choices that make them feel good, not choices that make others feel good. They won't rely on someone else's assessment of them to know how worthy they are. In my home, I have an 8-year-old, and he, of course, everybody thinks their child is so super smart, right? So my very encouraging, very amazing child's father, my husband, is so encouraging and so proud of this kid. And he has just been amazed at how smart my child is since he was really little, and he tells him that a lot. Oh my gosh, you're so smart. Oh my gosh, I can't believe you can do math this young. And oh my gosh, you know, so always giving him praise about how smart he is. And here's what happened not too long ago. He generally, he's young. He generally has an easy time in school, but he had a math test or a math paper where he missed more than half of them. Now, from my perspective, as long as he tried his very best, I don't care, and neither does his father, what his grade is. I want him to do well in school because he feels safe and he feels connected, and you know that he's learning new things, but the actual grade is of no concern to us. But all of that praise about how smart he is turned into a breakdown about this test. It was an hour that he cried and cried because he got more than half wrong. That's what he kept saying. I got more than half wrong. I'm not good at this. His idea of him, you know, being good in school was all wrapped up in getting everything right. even though that's not important to us, even though it's not what we value in our home, that's what we taught him. And we're going to have to work really hard to undo that because he's not always going to get good grades in school. He needs to be able to judge his worth and value on how he feels about the work that he's done, not about the specific grade. So there are 3 formulas for noticing. Here's the first one, basic. You did it. You, and then you describe without judgment what they did. Or you say, look at you. You, and then describe without judgment. Like, you did it. You tried a new food. Look at you. You used so many different colors in your picture, right? When we say, you did it, you tried a new food, instead of thank you for eating your peas, or you're not getting up from the table until you try this new food that I made, right? Then they might try the new food, but it'll be all about pleasing us or about compliance. Encouraging them to try a new food and then saying, you did it, you tried a new food, lets them decide that it feels good to try something new. Noticing to encourage compliance. So after an assertive command, we say, you did it, you, and then describe in detail with no judgment, right? So I'm going to say, pick up all of your socks and go put them in the drawer in your bedroom. And then when he's done, I'm going to say, you did it. You put all your socks in the drawer. I'm going to say, it's time to clean up. Pick up your toys and place them in the basket. Maybe I only had to say it once and he did it. So I'm going to say, look at you. You picked up your toys right when I asked you to. No judgment. He gets to decide. The child gets to decide. The other person gets to decide what this is, what value it is to them. And the last one is noticing to encourage kindness and helpfulness. So that was helpful, kind, thoughtful, or loving. You did it. You moved over so that your brother had room to play. That was thoughtful. You went and got me a roll of paper towels so that I had them to clean up. That was helpful. You got your jacket and shoes on so that we could leave on time. That was helpful. So if putting your child putting their jacket and shoes on so that we could leave on time is something that is a struggle for you, or I don't know if any parent doesn't struggle a little bit at some point to get their child to do this so you can get out the door, how would you be more motivated to do that? If someone raised their voice at you, got frustrated with you, told you that it was their fault you were going to be late for work again, and made you feel shame? Or would you be more motivated by someone noticing what you did and letting you know how helpful that was? Infants and toddlers understand what we're saying long before they speak a single word, right? So noticing encourages them in healthy ways. It builds their self-awareness. It increases their vocabulary. So use noticing to describe your infant or your toddler's actions at every opportunity. You did it. You scooted and reached up to get your rattle. Or you handed me your cup so I could put juice in it. That was really helpful. So you can take a moment to press pause and do a screenshot of this little mini poster. I'll tell you how you can get a copy of this at the end, but if you want to screenshot this so you have a reminder about the language to use to get started in noticing. So let's take a moment to read Sophie's Helpful Day. And of course, I'll let you know how to access the older version of this story with Schubert. Sophie's Helpful Day. Sophie hands her brother Schubert his lunch as he leaves for school. Mom says, "You handed Schubert his lunch so he would remember it. That was helpful." And Sophie grins with happiness. Sophie says to Piggy, her favorite stuffed pig, "I'm going to be helpful today." "I'm going to pick up all my books. Piggy, do you want to help?" Sophie asks. Look at you, you're picking up your book so we can walk safely around the room. That was helpful, Mom says as she peeks into the room. Sophie sings, how can I help? How can I help? How can I be helpful today? And then she says, Piggy, let's look at our ways to be helpful pictures. I know, I can help by putting my clothes away. Mom comes in as Sophie stands on her tippy toes to put her last shirt in the drawer. Look at you. You put your clothes in the drawers so that we could find them in the morning. You have had a very helpful day. Sophie giggles and says, and Piggy helped too. So in Sophie's helpful day, the book is helpful to bring your young child back when you're introducing ways to be helpful. You can bring them back to this video and listen to this book or put it on mute and read it with them. Sophie's helpful day shows that we can build on a child's natural desire to be helpful by providing age-appropriate tasks. So even for our youngest kids, getting a diaper, folding washcloths or towels, taking their dish to the table are just a few examples of the way that children can contribute to the household. And I also encourage you to head to the Conscious Discipline website and find Schubert's home. It will allow you to click on different parts of the home to see all of this stuff in action. So in the classroom, we use pictures to show ways to be helpful. At home, you can do exactly the same thing. So if you make a list of things that your child could do to be helpful and contribute to your classroom or to your home, you could take a picture or print out a picture, hanging up their backpack when they get home from school, wiping off the table before dinner. Make a picture so they can refer to it just like Sophie did in that book when she was looking for ways to be helpful. When we use pictures, it's because young children don't have words inside their head. They have pictures. So you know how we talk to ourselves in our head? When children do that, they do it with pictures instead of words. So using pictures to show the behaviors we want helps them to internalize the behavior. The visuals provide clear information to a child's brain. It's like Google. It's if I wanted to look up ways to be helpful, I could open up Google, type that in, and it would show me an endless amount of information. This is Google for kids. Pictures is Google for kids. By building our school family or, our home family on the power of unity, we replace tangible rewards like stickers and, toys or trips to a treasure box with conscious acknowledgement of a child's success and their helpful actions. The rewards that children receive are the feelings they experience as a result of their actions. This is key to developing something called intrinsic motivation, which is a child's internal drive to be successful, helpful, and kind, right? When we notice their behavior and acknowledge their successes, the feeling that they get from that is the reward, because the sticker will fall off, the prize box toy or the trip to Dollar Tree, that will not last, that will break. The feeling that they get from it is something that they can keep forever. So inside our home, some different ways to encourage unity would be going around the dinner table at night or in the car driving home from school. Maybe it's when you're getting ready for bed or tucking them into bed. And collectively, share something helpful that you did or saw someone do today. We'll encourage them to do the same, but they'll learn about kindness and helpfulness from the examples that we share and the examples that we model, right? And of course, jobs are a great way to teach children that every person has something to contribute. They provide an opportunity to trigger children's brains to release those feel-good hormones and chemicals that we were talking about earlier. So giving them jobs releases those feel-good, that joy juice into their brain. It makes them feel good. It helps encourage them to contribute, cooperate, and connect even more, and that preps their brains for a day of learning. We all feel better when we feel like we matter. So here is a list. Again, you can screenshot this. It's really tiny. I'm going to let you know at the end how you can get a copy of this. But this has a list for your home of age-appropriate jobs. Laundry can be a whole family game to see who finishes first or who can do it the neatest. Toddlers can fold washcloths. 3-year-olds can match socks. Older siblings can fold their own clothes, and you can fold the rest. So, of course, it's going to take a toddler as long to fold 3 washcloths as it takes you to fold the rest of the load, and then you may even have to go behind them and refold them, right? But it's a small price to pay for teaching children that they're important in the family, to the family's well-being. And when we spend time encouraging their helpfulness, it pays off later when they're able to complete the tasks independently. Encourage their helpfulness. You folded all the washcloths so that the family can stay clean. That was helpful. Toddlers. Seems harder to give jobs to toddlers, right? But toddlers are naturally curious about their world, and they love to help. So maximize their helpfulness by giving them some simple tasks, and then of course allowing them plenty of time to complete them. So pushing them to hurry or assigning tasks that aren't age appropriate are discouraging and then can trigger a tantrum. So pay attention. If your toddler seems frustrated, offer encouragement, slow down, and then join with them in completing the task. And joining with them is always something that they will enjoy that time with you too. I was just talking to a teacher yesterday about cleaning up, getting kids to clean up. And she said that one of the tricks that she uses is a race. Let's clean up. Let's see who can be faster. Let's go line up at the door. I'll race you. Who can get there first? Right? So we can do that at home too. Okay, so pictures, age appropriate. And then there will be resources in the video description. So when you're done with this video, if you go into the full description, there will be web links to companion videos from Conscious Discipline and a link for you to request materials. And that's how I can get you the mini poster or the age-appropriate jobs paper. You can choose for them to be emailed to you, or I can put a paper copy in the mail. Just a note about the videos and the links in the description. They are not live, so you are going to have to cut and paste it into your browser. So again, age appropriate, right? Because tasks that are too difficult will feel threatening and increase the likelihood of resistance and meltdowns, which is the opposite of what we want. We want to provide children with the opportunity to have that feel-good experience and have the opportunity to be successful at a task and contribute to the family. So if it's not working, maybe go back and look at the tasks that you've given them and make sure that they are age appropriate. And just one more word about pictures, right? Their brains encode information in pictures. So take photos of the helpful tasks, print them out from the computer, take them on your phone. Even stick figures can work. You can do little drawings of tasks that you want, label it ways to be helpful, and put it in a space where they can see it often or refer to it when, the opportunity presents itself. So that's all for encouragement today. You are always welcome to send me a message or an email. If you're requesting materials, you can also type a question into there that I would love to get back to you. I love the conversations that come from sharing these videos with you. So until next time, I'm wishing you well. Schubert's Helpful Day. Hooray, hooray, I'm on my way. Hooray, hooray, I'll be helpful today. Schubert sings as he holds the door open for his sister, Sophie, and off to school they go. At school, Lucinda the ladybug slams her backpack on the floor and kicks her foot at Etta. Etta, the earthworm, ducks just in time. She looks surprised and hurt. Mrs. Bookbinder says in a soothing voice, "That was scary, Etta. What could you do to help Lucinda learn another way to treat you?" Etta answers, "I can use my big voice." So Etta looks at Lucinda and says, "I don't like it when you kick at me. It's scary." "That's very helpful, Etta," responds Mrs. Bookbinder. And then she turns her attention to the class and says, "Lucinda seems to feel very upset this morning. How can we help her?" So Benny the Beetle holds up a wand with a star on it and says, "We could be stars." The class knows the wand is a signal for everyone to stop. Take a deep breath in through the nose and relax by slowly letting the air out through the mouth. Benny, you led the class in slow breathing. The calmness in the classroom can help Lucinda feel calm too. That was very helpful. Crenshaw, the cricket, begins to sing a song the class had written. "We wish you well, we wish you well, all through the day today, we wish you well." Mrs. Bookbinder tells Crenshaw, that is also very helpful. Angelina, one of the 3 ant triplets, picks up the We Care class bag, and she walks over to Lucinda and asks, "Will any of these help?" Lucinda looks in the bag, and she sees a teddy bear, a bottle of lotion, a Band-Aid, and a soft ball for squeezing. Lucinda chooses the bear and gives it a big hug. Her body relaxes, and she lets out a big sigh. Mrs. Bookbinder can see it's now time to teach Lucinda other ways to handle angry feelings and solve her problems. Lucinda, you came into the classroom and threw down your backpack like this. You kicked your foot at Etta just like this. And then you scrunched up your face all tight like this. You seemed angry. Something scary must have happened. Someone on the school bus tore my picture. It's a picture of me and my mama, Lucinda says softly. In a soft, questioning voice, Mrs. Bookbinder asks, "Someone on the bus tore your picture, and you didn't know the words to let them know you felt angry?" Lucinda moves her feet slowly and mumbles, "No." "You wanted us to know how angry you felt, so you threw down your backpack and kicked at Etta," reminds Mrs. Bookbinder. She continues teaching Lucinda by saying firmly, "You may not kick your friends. Kicking is hurtful. When you feel angry, you could say, 'I feel angry. Someone tore my picture.' Let's say it now for practice." With a tear in her eye, Lucinda says, "I feel angry. My picture is broken." "Here you go," says the ant sisters, Angie, Angela, and Angelina. "We have tape. We can fix it." And they all work together to patch up Lucinda's picture. Mrs. Bookbinder notices the kindness of the triplets, and she describes it by saying, "You got tape and worked together to fix Lucinda's picture. Now she can share it with her friends. That was helpful." Benny says, "Yeah, because we are here to help each other. It's our job to keep the classroom safe. To do our job, we must be helpful." Right, Schubert? With that, Schubert begins to sing his song once again. Hooray, hooray, I'm on my way. Hooray, hooray, I'll be helpful today. The class joins Schubert and they all sing together. Hooray, hooray, we're on our way. Hooray, hooray, we'll be helpful today. The end. So, parents, here is a little bit of wisdom from Mrs. Bookbinder. So notice in this book that Mrs. Bookbinder goes to the victim first instead of the aggressor, which is typically our first thing we do, is to reprimand the person that hurt, right? But she goes to the victim first and she addresses her and prompts her to use her big voice. Eda's big voice empowers her to be assertive and begins the teaching process for Lucinda. So if we think about the child kicking took over Eda's power, right? She made Eda feel like a victim. Eda took her power back by using her big voice and being assertive and telling her that it wasn't okay. Mrs. Bookbinder views Lucinda's behavior as a call for help instead of seeing it as meanness or disrespect. Again, that's usually our instinct, is to feel like the person who kicked or hit or threw is just being mean or disrespectful. But because they are a school family, because of unity, right, the power of unity, she was able to realize that this is a call for help. This fosters Lucinda's willingness to take responsibility for her actions because the class family, the school family, is a safe environment. It teaches the other children ways to be respectful in difficult situations too. Mrs. Bookbinder did a lot of noticing helpful acts, and she also taught Lucinda a new communication skill so that next time she's upset about something, she'll have a better chance of being able to handle it in a different way. So right at the bottom here, you'll see some scripts of how to do that. You wanted blank, so you blank. You may not, it was hurtful. You wanted your brother's toy, so you took it. You may not take things from his hands. It's hurtful. When you want your brother's toy, you can say, "May I have a turn?"